Okay, hello and welcome to the Elder Scrolls Online Community Podcast. The date is February 22nd, 2014, and you're watching episode 5. Big news, NDA has dropped for up to level 17 content approved by ZOS, and we're also expected to unveil, we're excited to unveil our projects this show, mods, wiki, maps, and skill builder. Today's show, the echo's coming through there again, I think, Selkak? Thanks. In today's show, we'll be showing you TesoTools.com, interviewing the 13th Legion about their guild, and Chillbilly on his economic theories for Teso plus Tamriel Gold Goblin. Then we'll spend a lot of time at the end of the show discussing our impressions of the veteran content, which we have permission from ZOS to do, and answering your questions about the game. While you're watching, we encourage you to write questions in chat, and don't forget we'll be doing shoutouts at the end to give some more exposure to your great guild. Besides being one of your hosts for the show, I'm also a council member for the Daggerfall Covenant Guild Mostly-Harmless, and this is one of my co-hosts, Vixen.
Hey guys, I'm Vixen, and I'm the Public Relations Officer for Mostly Harmless, and I'm excited to be back. Last show we had Yununga, the Syndicate, and Das Nets on the podcast. They were great, and thanks again to them for coming out and being a part of our show. We really appreciate it. For now, let's welcome some of our new guests that we're going to have. First off, let's welcome the Mighty Cac, or Selkak for those closest to him, from the 13th Legion. They are primarily a PvP-focused guild pledged to the Daggerfall Covenant and are looking to set a new Guinness World Record. We'll hear more about that soon. Welcome, Selkak.
Welcome. Praise be the CAC. Swinging my chair around on a screen.
Next up, let's welcome Chillbilly, writer for Elder Scrolls Forums and founder of the Tamriel Gold Goblin, which is way more than just a website focused on the economics of ESO. He will be sharing his thoughts on that shortly. Welcome, Chillbilly.
Thank you, Vixen. Happy to be here.
And also, let's welcome back Akaz, super fan that waited in line for hours at QuakeCon in order to play Teso over and over again. We'll hear his impressions of the game so far. Welcome, Akaz.
What's up?
Nice glasses.
Yep.
Also, I want to take this time to introduce Tomcat, a member of Mostly Harmless, and he has graciously offered to help us out with our podcast. So welcome, Tomcat.
Hey, thanks, Vixen. I'm just happy to be helping out and looking forward to what our guests have to say today.
Sounds good. So first off, we put countless hours as volunteers into a project that we're very proud of, TesoTools.com, maps, mods, wiki, and skill builder. There's still lots we'd like to do, especially since the skill builder is built using HTML5 and will be available in the future on mobile devices. But this is what we've done so far. We'll just give you a quick preview of that. So you can see there's the maps there. You can zoom in, move around. There's different options here on the sides to put the way shrines on and take sky shards on and off. We have the sky shards and lore books mapped out for all the different areas in the game, so we can't reveal those all yet, but they are there. So if you're having trouble and can't use the clues that are in the game to find out what you want to do, there's certainly options that way. You can zoom in, incredible detail. The map of Cyrodiil alone is just amazing. In terms of the wiki, it's a developing project. We can only show so much at this point in time, but of course there's screenshots of different areas, there's walkthroughs of different beginning areas, what you can achieve, different quests, and all those details. So basic ideas, and it's built not by, we're just not data mining this. This is people playing the game and stuff all the time. So skill builder, we've already got people on our website that are putting their builds together and then getting a permalink here so they can talk and discuss about the builds. And unlike some other competition, this will be available on mobile devices. So it's something we're certainly proud of, and we are looking forward to incorporating that into the wiki, where we're going to be having some of the builds that we found have been really successful and maybe we can talk about on the show today. The mods too, Wicked, that's his name, has made some wicked mods. There's a great number of mods there. That's only the tip of the iceberg. There's also a lot of other people in the community that have got some good stuff, so we'll be seeing that later. And even maybe get into the Sorcerer Bear build that Kodiak has sometimes. It's just incredible. So let me hand it back over to Tomcat here, and there we go.
Cool. Thanks, Rook. All right, so before we start the interviews, let's have a little bit of fun with our guests. We have some TESO trivia questions that we want you to answer. Now, they are mostly multiple choice, but we encourage you, maybe even challenge you, to come up with your own answer. And I think Vixen has the first set.
Yeah, this first one is for Selkak from the 13th Legion. Why do Khajiits love the taste of cinnamon toast crunch? A, 2 words, moon sugar. B, cinnamon swirls in every bite. C, syrup-infused kittens. D, Khajiits love the taste of anything.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with syrup-infused kittens, because personally, as the mighty Lord God Selkak, I also enjoy syrup-infused kittens, wrapped in bacon.
Wrapped in bacon.
I knew
Canadian
you were
bacon.
going to choose that.
Canadian bacon?
No, that's not real bacon.
Lose one hockey game, jeez.
It's the only thing you're good at.
Chillbilly, the Dragonborn, a lusty Argonian maid, and Sanguine walk into a bar. After a few drinks, Sanguine asks you to join them on their bar crawl. What happens next?
Shots. Lots of shots.
I'd be
Was
curious
it
to see-
multiple choice? I'm sorry.
No,
Those are options.
For you, we didn't figure there was anything necessary. We figured you got the economics of those shots figured out anyway, so.
I got it right here.
We won't say what that is. It's orange juice, right?
That's right.
Take it away, Tomcat.
Okay, so Ekaz, this one is for you. Now, everyone knows that ZOS is responsive to fan feedback. So now there's been a little feedback that some of the fans want more to their crafting than just the standard blacksmithing, alchemy, that sort of thing. So you work on the creative development team for ZOS, and you're going to pitch a new line of crafting. Which of these would it be? A, paper mache sculpting, handy for when you're running low on keep defenders. No worries. This skill allows you to create life-size, lightweight player decoys that you can station all around the keep to give the impression of a heavily guarded fortress. Or B, crochet, for those who want really, really light armor. Or C, flower arranging. Now you can rake in the gold from players who brought the Imperial Edition and will now need flower arrangements during their Ritual of Mara. Or finally, D, interior keep decoration. Because, let's face it, who wants to capture and hold an ugly-looking keep?
Well, I originally was going to go with the flowers, obviously, because everybody knows I like money. But I think I'm going to actually have to go with interior keep decorating, because I don't know, for anybody that's played games where you can decorate your house, that's where the money's at.
Jeez.
There you go.
Well, Selkak, as our guest this weekend, or this particular podcast, I'd like to learn more about the 13th Legion. We had a guest on last time, the Syndicate that were in the Guinness Book of World Records, and I hear you're going to be in it too. What's going on?
Well, the 13th is making a run for the longest video game marathon in 2 sections. The longest video game marathon overall, which is currently held by a gentleman in Australia, at 135 hours, 15 minutes, and 10 seconds. The one for the particular genre, which would be RPGs, is held by a group of Canadian kids at 48 hours, 14 minutes. My guild plans either this summer or next summer to make a run for the overall. We're batting for 200 hours.
Wow.
All of our proceeds are going to raise money for Heroes for Hire, which is a group of individuals that go around dressed as superheroes and visit terminally ill kids in the hospital. They also act as pallbearers for them.
Okay, that's some serious stuff. That nice that you're giving to charity that way. And 200 hours. You're not just looking to beat them. You're looking to totally destroy these records and just be top of the stream now, are you?
Well, the real motto of the 13th Legion is, if you're going to do it, overkill it. I don't want anybody to come behind us and think that it's going to be easy. 135 hours on its own is 7.5 days. 200 hours is pushing, I think, 8 or 9 days of continuous gameplay. And we really don't want anybody to outdo the 13th.
Cool. That sounds good. And I don't know, Vixen, if you had some of these questions, or if you want me to continue with like the Cacmus Steam gift giveaway.
Yeah. Cacmus, tell us about this Cacmus that you do.
Well, Cacmus was handed down in the holy book of Selkak as a festive gift giving. It's an event every year that I have for my guild. Every October, I buy Christmas presents early for my entire guild. 1 or 2 games from Steam. It's been about 3 or 4 years. Unlike regular Christmas, there is a winner of Cacmus. You can indeed win Cacmus. Our last winner was Ghost Wheel, who ended up getting something close to $200 worth of items and products from the guild and from myself. So it's a gift-giving holiday with a winner.
That's impressive. So you give something to every guild member that you have.
Yes.
How many guild members do you have?
Currently 42.
Wow. That's a lot of gifts.
It's how I keep members. Come to the 13th Legion. We'll buy you crap.
Yeah, we use beer, so I understand how it is. Now, PvP focused or PvE focused?
Well, very much. There's definitely a divide in the guild where the people that like the PvP, they like the PvE, and they like the RP. But we're definitely PvP focused. Most of my members have the bloodlust. We have nothing better to enjoy our day than making other people cry.
Sounds fun. The Pledge to Daggerfall Covenant. So we knew that already. But how long have you been a guild, and what kind of projects are you working on for the release of Teso?
We've been a guild for about 8 or 9 years at this point, off and on, consistently the past 3.5, 4 years. Daggerfall just seemed like the fit. The 13th Legion being historically related to the Legion of Caesar that crossed the Rubicon. So, symbol was the lion, so that made the choice for what to pick. I mean, basically, it was based off of the fact that Daggerfall has the lion as the symbol, and the fact that most of my guild are either Breton players or Redguard, with a few Orishmer linked in. As for projects, we're really focusing on the guild PvP and the fundamentals that come with Alliance versus Alliance PvP, which has kind of fallen to the wayside in the past couple games. I know they brought it back and revitalized it with Guild Wars and DOAC. But I mean, for a couple of years there was just battlegrounds and instanced PvP, which is great for something like arenas, but not really great to show the complexity that should be the PvP in a game.
Yep. Okay. Well, I mean, I've certainly enjoyed talking to you before and on TeamSpeak, and I know you and your guild have a lot of characters in it, so certainly good to have you here, and we'll get you involved in these chats here with the economics as we get into Chillbilly and the Tamriel Gold Goblin.
Hey, Chill. So, I really enjoyed doing the pre-interview with you. Now, but keeping in mind that this game is going to potentially have a wide audience, anywhere from hardcore MMO veterans and Elder Scrolls fans to folks who are really fairly new to this kind of game. Can you give like a 3-4 minute sort of overview on in-game economics? I mean, what are we looking at? Auction houses, guild stores, guild trading? Fill us in on that.
Not so much. Elder Scrolls Online is going to be more of a creative style economy. You don't have the things in previous games given to you like an auction house or so much as your dedicated trade channels go and things like that. For a new user to come in, trading is going to be a lot of getting out there and selling your item, advertising for yourself, and moving towards your goal in a more creative fashion. There are a lot of people that say that there is no economy. That's just completely false. It's just not given to you like a regular MMO style would be. The auction house in previous games have pretty much made you play the auction house instead of play the game. Elder Scrolls Online makes you play the game as a trader. It's more immersive. you can actually sink into being a trader versus being an auction house watcher.
Right. So now, do you think most of these transactions are going to happen in guild stores and guild banks, or are they going to be more player-to-player direct transactions?
On the smaller scale, I would say that yes, you are going to have a lot of guild stores, spring up, and there may be some trade guilds and things like that. But I think where the bulk of the trade is going to be to reach that outside market is going to be at your way shrines, inside your towns, on outside sources, websites, TeamSpeak channels, things of that nature.
Okay, cool. So let's take a couple of scenarios, again, keeping in mind that you have a potentially wide audience. So let's say I'm a player who really all I want to do, I'm mostly interested in the PvE. I want to do questing. I want to explore. Really all I care about is getting enough gold to buy good stuff. What's my approach going to be? Where am I going to start at?
The best way to do that kind of thing is to worry about yourself. Of course, you want to level your professions. You want to go out and kill things, obviously, and you want to have some gold to pad that venture. So the best thing for you to do, since your main focus is not going to be the market, is to just sell to the vendors. There's no shame in it. It is a fast way to make money, and it's a very valuable way to make money. I've heard that people are taking their greens and extracting the materials and then selling those materials to vendors and making a good bit of money. It's not riches, but it's good enough to fit your play style.
Okay, cool. So now let's kind of go to the other extreme. Let's say I'm interested in PvP, and really all I want to do is help out my guild, help out my alliance. So what's the difference? What do I need to know about being in Cyrodiil? Gold, alliance points. Talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so your guild is in Cyrodiil. It holds a keep on the trader aspect of things. That means that you get a guild score, get a guild store. You can trade items through that, obviously. With your PvP and your alliance points, the more people you kill, the way I understand it, the more people you kill, the more alliance points you get, the more things you can buy from the alliance store. So there's that.
Okay, cool. Now, what if I want to actually get into economics? I want to make trading part of my gameplay, do a little wealth acquisition. I want to, partly play the banker, but I'm new to it. How might I try to get into that? Trading commodities, materials, where do I start?
You really need to start with research. Any good gold goblin, somebody that calls themselves a gold goblin, is going to research a market. They're going to find out what is selling. They're going to find out how much it's selling for, and then they're also going to take into account time versus money. If it costs more time for you to do something than it would cost you to just buy it, then it's not worth your time. So let's say, for instance, you play for an hour, make 50 gold, or you farm for an hour and make 50 ore. And the ore only sells for 2 or 3 gold. So your best bet is to probably just go ahead and buy that ore, or versus farm it yourself.
Right. Okay. Cool. Well, now, is there anything that you are, concerned with, or that you've seen so far, and you really wish ZOS would change, would fix up before the game is released?
I think that I think it would be better if they did have some sort of dedicated trade channel, dedicated trade area, maybe even a place where you could set up a shop outside of the guild place, because there are people out there that are not interested in joining guilds. They want to play on their own, and it would help if they added things like that, marketplaces and things, not necessarily an auction house, because then you fall back to that playing the auction house instead of playing the game.
Right. Okay. Cool. Well, and why don't you put in a plug for your website? I mean, what are people going to find if they go out to Tamriel Gold Goblin?
Okay, so Tamriel Go Goblin is a blog site, pretty much. It gives you guides on how to make money in Elder Scrolls. It also helps you with support things. We have a TeamSpeak that is an unlimited license. It's a nonprofit. Any faction can join it. Anybody can be in there and trade. And the cool thing about TeamSpeak is that you can have multiple tabs open, so you could be hanging out with your guild, pop over to the Go Goblin network, and get that trading going on. The other thing with the website is we have an average market price ticker that goes across the top. That is calculated from each faction, what those items are selling for, and it's averaged every week, so it will update every week. The other thing is our journals and our newsletters. Our newsletters are going to be your prime source of information for different things that are happening in the game, news that can affect the market price.
Cool. Well, very cool, man. I appreciate your time. And I don't know, we'll see if Rook or Vixen have any other questions for you.
Yeah, well, definitely. I saw a comment on Twitch here that, let me just scroll up again to see who it was. But they actually said that it was Jaxler. He's so happy that the auction house is gone. As a longtime crafter, he's looking forward to actually talking to his customers now. And certainly something what you're talking about with a TeamSpeak set up to it. I'm actually picturing almost like a stock market. I got 250 ore to sell. It's I know it's 5 gold to buy out and whatever that I'm selling it for 4 gold. It's interesting because when you're going through the game, the prices don't increase. Like every resource is basically 5 gold when you're going to sell it to the to a vendor in the game. But and this is huge to know. I mean, I don't know if they're going to change it, but it's obviously going to matter more. Well, maybe it's not going to matter more. Maybe it will be the same price. Maybe the rarity will be not as much of an issue. Maybe there aren't as many rare items. But I think there are, and we'll certainly see that on your website for sure.
Right. One thing I wanted to mention about that is you do have supply and demand, and obviously we've seen from the beta that Daggerfall has an overabundance of ore and wood available to them. So ore is just going to saturate the market at first, and that's going to lower the price of everything. So there's going to be a lot of stockpiling going on. Back to that TeamSpeak thing, we're planning to do live auctions, every week. So players that don't want to get involved in trading and things like that can actually bring their items to us, and we'll sell it for them. And they'll make the money and, get their items sold. So we look forward to that.
I could see you being a good auctioneer, that drinking one hand and a mic in another. Very good. Well, Vixen, let's hear from our veteran players there. That we're allowed to talk about the veteran content that we've been seeing. I've got to ask you, first of all, for Vixen and ACOS and stuff that have been exploring it. It's nice that we've had this access to the beta, of course, to see everything in the game. How do you get there, first of all? You've got your main story quest. Everybody's seen that there's a main story quest that starts, was it a level 5 or 10 that begins? And then is it a main story quest that brings you into the veteran content, or is it the fact that, we start in Cold Harbor in the Whaling Prison, and then I'm assuming, we can say it, you end up in Cold Harbor at the end. What's the transition to get to the end game?
Well, basically, every 5 levels, you continue on with this main storyline. It unlocks the next area of it. And so at level 50 is the final part of this main storyline. And so once you complete this final story, that is what unlocks then the veteran content. So you have to complete the whole level, and you can't finish it until you are level 50 because it won't unlock until those 5 levels. I don't know if ACOS has anything to add to that, too.
Not specifically on that. I think you covered it pretty well.
Yeah.
Cool. So you get into the veteran content. You're now not going back through your own zone, right? You're going to one of the other factions or something?
Yes, basically, after you finish with your area and you finish with the main quest line, you will now go over to the new faction area and you will start completely over. Everything is veteran level, so it's not easy peasy. It is hard. It's hard stuff, and it's newer challenges. It's very exciting, and that way you get to see the other faction content without rolling a new character in their faction.
Right. So you go through 50 levels, which could take 6 days, talking full days, like 100 hours. You could do it in a lot less with some speed grinding, but if you want to really explore the game, of course, you're going to spend that time, and it's well worth it. This is certainly a game to be explored and enjoyed. The veteran content has, instead of 50 levels, it has 10 levels. Can you just blow through that? Or does that take as long as the 50 levels?
Oh, it takes a long time to level up your veteran level, so you cannot blow right through it. It's going to take you a while, and I know they're probably going to expand the levels sometime in the future. Who knows? For now, it's the 10 levels, but you're not going to get there real fast. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, and we're not even getting into adventure zones, which is another area that has not been shown to everybody. But the veteran content is just really cool. That getting to see everything, and also for those of us that are completionists that want to get the sky shards, the lore books from the other areas, I think, was it Kodiak who'd mapped those all out for us? That I can't remember how many sky shards were in the other areas that would give you that many more skill points. Was it another 150 or so between the two areas? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think total he found that you're going to get close to like 200, almost 250 skill points with all the sky shards combined. It should be pretty close to that. So you're going to have plenty of skill points.
Sure. So certainly necessary for a completionist, and certainly necessary for people that want to be able to do crafting, PvP, and have all those skills. The lore books, it's the only way to max out the mage's skilled skill line. So certainly something there that if people want to get the top skills in that skill line, which are good, then you're going to need to get that maxed out and get those lore books.
Yeah, basically I think it's every 10 lore books, is that right? You get a skill point, and then for every dungeon, public dungeon, there's a skill point, or there's a sky shard in there. And then every main quest line in every area, there's like usually about 3 or so main quest lines in the area. That'll give you a skill point for completing those quests too. So there's a lot of opportunities to get those skill points and sky shards.
Very cool. Now, ACOS, about the crafting, and I mean, Vixen, you've been doing some of the highest level crafting as well, so I'll ask you both. But maybe start with ACOS here. Is crafting even necessary? I mean, should you bother with it at all?
Yes, I mean, I know I did provisioning when I was doing crafting, and while it is, I mean, you really do have to focus because the amount of materials you get limits you to how many professions you can do at a time, in my opinion. But the buffs I was able to get from the food made, especially veteran content, go from basic and fairly difficult to being able to actually complete it by myself. And that's just with food I was able to craft. So, I mean, I think that the crafting leads to just needing to be done unless you want to rely on somebody else.
Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
I completely agree with that. I think crafting it definitely rewards you to craft. You get some really great items from it. I think all the crafting lines are pretty much equal. I mean, I focus mostly on enchanting because I was really curious about that, but they're all pretty equal in the benefits that you get from. So it's good if you know somebody or if you want to dabble in all of them, it's beneficial.
Okay. There's a question in Twitch here from oh no, TG is just talking about the beer kit in the background. Incendio, do you think we will need to invest heavily in plus health to survive in the veteran content? You've been in some of the highest level dungeons. Is it just like the level 50 dungeon, which is badass in itself? I mean, I thought that was just the best thing ever, but what is the veteran dungeon like? Is it just, are you going to lose a lot of health?
The veteran dungeons are really cool in that they're actually completely different from the dungeons that you do originally. They actually have different bosses, and they make it completely new, so you don't know what to expect going in there. And it is definitely a lot harder. It's more of a challenge. If you have a pretty good group, you'll do okay, but I know it took us a while. They have little tricks that the bosses do that you have to figure things out, so it takes a little bit to get through it, and you probably will definitely need a healer in the group. I mean, you can maybe wing it if you can be pretty self-sufficient or use health pots, but I think a healer would help a lot in some of those instances. They're pretty challenging.
I have heard stories of people being just one-shotted, like they just did not have that. I remember this in Eve, that if you didn't have a certain amount of tank, you could just be blown out of the sky, and you need to have that. You need to have that for this game to do those dungeons. That
Oh yeah.
Skeeter's joking around here. I think that if I level my magic pool to soft cap to make my skills hit hard and my bubbles strong, how do I get my weapons to hit harder than a wet noodle?
Well, that's where enchanting comes into play. You want to use those enchants.
Karaneth has mentioned that he invested in health for the closed beta even as a caster and found it valuable even at the level 16 range. So certainly good points at investing in the health. There is certainly caps and stuff, like in terms of magicka and stuff. There are soft caps for all the main things that you would think of, like magicka, stamina, etc. But it's with the lack of the UI in the game, it's harder to tell if there's a cap for blocking, block reduction in damage and stuff, or critical strike damage. And it looks like that you can go above the normal percentages, especially like run speed and stuff. It doesn't appear to have a cap. So there's certainly things that you can put together to make some interesting builds. And there's interesting potions too that can vastly change the game and stuff. Zoroark 173 is mentioning here. I saw a post on Reddit that was talking about how a sorcerer based on magicka only to dump all of their points into health. Because of how overcharging works, you can reach max mana cap with gear skills only. How true is this? And people are already spawning in the Twitch that it's very true that
Yes.
you can reach the caps. Yeah, that now you're doing Templar, right? So mostly.
Yes. My main build is kind of a Boplar Templar, but I can do a lot of healing with that, group healing too. And I have found that with health giving, you get more benefit from health. So I would definitely put a lot of your attribute points into health. And then with enchants and armor bonuses, you can maximize on your magicka stamina from that. So don't overlook health. It is important.
Yeah, it's the game. I think a lot of people underestimate this game, that there are layers and layers and layers of depth to this game. And we've said it before, I've been playing for a year, and I don't know what class I'm going to pick for opening day. I'm still trying to figure out, and the skills, I'm trying to determine which way to go, because there's not even flavors of the month yet, but there's going to be, and it's huge. Like yeah, it's certainly interesting that there's a lot of opportunities there.
I love how this game, there's no cookie cutter build. So you don't have your primary tank, primary healer. Sork is going to be all decked out in light armor and they're going to be really squishy. It's not like that. You can make your build however you want it. You can have your Sork dual wielding and heavy armor and have them still be very efficient. So you can really play with your builds. And that's what makes it hard, because there's so much room to choose and play that it's tough.
Yeah. And now, ACOS, you've respect before. Can you tell people where to do that and how that works?
Oh man, I don't remember where that was at. No, I mean, in Daggerfall Covenant, you do it sort of in the main city, which for us would be
Wayrest,
Stormhaven. Wayrest, which is in Stormhaven, and you do it at the shrine, and there'll be little statues inside. It's the same place you do your attribute points, your skill points, and the whole little marriage thing.
Yeah, and there's actually, the shrines are kind of named in a way that helps that, it's, I think Shrine to Akatosh is, it starts with an A, that's for your attribute points. You pay a fee. It used to be 500, 1,000 gold. Now, for higher levels, we've heard numbers like 50,000, 100,000 to respec. I don't know what the numbers are going to be when game launches, but it's not something to be undertaken lightly. And that's why we have things like the skill builder and other things out, because people are certainly going to want to choose their development path and play with it ahead of time. The shrine to what is it that starts with an S for the skills? It starts with an S. I forget the name of the god. Someone can probably put it here in the Twitch chat. And then the shrine to Mara is for the marriage, for that bonus for leveling that a lot of us will get with our since we've all done our pre-orders and gotten the Imperial edition. That easily the best $20 I've spent. There was a question here. How rare do you think the Primal Reach and Daedric styles will be from Jack Slater? He's one of the crafters there. Vixen or ACOS?
Rare. You can put it this way. Here's this energy shot right here. Pour this into a swimming pool, Olympic-sized swimming pool. You're more likely to find some of this than you are to find one of those books.
Okay. That speaks to the rarity, and that speaks to what Chill's going to be dealing with in terms of money on Gold Goblin. That's going to make a lot of money there. Stendar, that's it. Thank you. Stendar is, Temple of Stendar, or Shrine to Stendar, yeah. So they're all in that first, in Wayrest. It's the area right after the area that you're in at the moment. So someone, I think it's Ghost people's asking about, will it reset the skill levels? No, it does not reset the skill levels. The game's really well designed this way. So you could totally try one way, respec, and you want to keep half of those skills and their morphs, and they're totally memorized. You just put the point in, you re-choose the morph by putting the other point in, and it will stay at that same level. So you don't lose stuff that you've achieved. The game's really well designed that way. The Reefer is Nightblade underpowered, or is it really that underrated? That's an interesting question, because I've seen so many people playing Nightblades and enjoying them, so I hadn't actually perceived it that way. Akaz, what are you playing again? Mostly Dragon Knight, is it?
I'm playing a Dragon Knight, but I have a lot of information on this.
Okay.
Nightblade is underrated, and it's simply because it's a harder class to play than a lot of other classes. It's a harder class to skill than a lot of other classes. But let me tell you this, don't underestimate a Nightblade. I mean, Dragon Knight's probably considered one of the most overpowered classes, and I don't want to face Nightblades in PvP.
There you go. So from a Dragon Knight that's been beaten by them. Yeah, they're a Vixen. You
don't want to face them.
Yeah, I love beating them. I hadn't played a Nightblade until one of the closed beta weekends, and then I got on and I was like, as from Templar to Nightblade, I was like, wow, I can just wreck people and not, Templar, I was running away a lot. guys, Rook needs help here. Rook needs help here.
And for PvE, I know somebody here's mentioning about PvE. PvE, they're just as strong. If you put me in a duo, give me a Nightblade over any other class.
Yep. Okay. And we've been arranging some fights with Iskamar and Best in Slot, and some of the guys from ER came out too. It was really good. I think it was Baphomet or no? Oh,
yeah,
what's his name?
he was there, and Fizzer.
Yeah. Anyways, a few good guys that were up for coming out, and we had just an arena-style combat in the middle of Cyrodiil. So we just had, imagine, 30 people, and we all sat down in chairs. You can sit chair. So we all sat down in chairs around this one area, and then 4 people would get up from 2 different teams and compete, and really neat to see. And the Nightblades did well there. You can bet that. Now, as Atherin's saying that a lot of people are complaining about Nightblades who seem to be useless in high-level PvE because they don't put anything on the table for the group. Is that true? And I would certainly argue no, that they've got morphs that can do heals. What do we call them? Rage healers and stuff, Vixen?
Yes, yeah, they can do some healing, and I think one of the big things, they have some AoE abilities that do a lot of damage too, and I think that is nice to have in a group. So I think they're good group mates.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't turn them away. Sorry, the Twitch chat's going pretty quick, so if we missed your question, certainly copy and paste it again. We'll try and get to it. Yeah, you're saying someone on Tamriel Foundry said Nightblades suck hard. I don't know. I don't read the site, so I'm not sure. But
somebody at Tamriel Foundry needs to learn how to play a Nightblade.
Maybe that's it.
Gauntlet thrown.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly don't discount them. They are so much fun. And as I said, I played the Nightblade, I played the Dragon Knight, I played the Sorcerer. I didn't play from the very I played it at the very beginning. I need to play it again because it's got some amazing speed boosts. Can certainly make for a good, in our ghost squad type tactics when we've got the people that are near the main squad but just doing certain patrol duties and stuff and keeping things safe and scouting and stuff. Great chaser, great for getting in and out of trouble, and I love playing stuff like that. So I'm torn. I mean, there's just a lot of different good options.
I think you can find a build to match any of your playstyle. It all depends on how you enjoy playing the game, and I think they're all very well done, and that you can be very potent in whatever your playstyle is and find a build that matches you.
Well, that's the thing I think that's a lot of people are having problems with, because this game's taking the step away from the cookie cutter mentality of MMOs previous, and that people are finding, like the comment about Nightblades, is that they're finding that they have to do some work rather than the game doing the work for them. And it's going to take a little bit to get used to it for a lot of those people that are used to the MMOs of days gone by. And that's going to be the real kicker between the people that are actually hardcore and developing characters and theory crafting, based against the people that just, click and put in things here.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. It used to be most games you have a certain amount of skills that you get for that build, and you can pick from that amount. Now you get everybody's build amount, and you've got to pick from everything. So it makes you have to really invest time into your builds, and like Rook was saying, use that skill builder, because it does help.
Yeah, and that's the difference between games like that have used other websites where they have the skill builders, and you end up with a good percentage of people that play the exact same healer for a class or the exact same tank, where you're going to have a lot more diversity in this game, which is really going to make this game go for the long run.
Sure, yeah. Moa, I can't resist. This is a great question. Moa Kosti. Nightblade seems to have to use both magic and stamina. Would that make it hard to distribute your points in health, stamina, magicka? Awesome question. This game, what adds to the depth of this game is the resource pools that you have to draw on. You have your health pool, of course. You can use your stamina pool to block, dodge, get out of trouble. But as you use that to save your health, you're using that other resource, and you've got your magicka pool. Your stamina is being used for all your weapon skills, some of your Fighters Guild skills. It's not being used for the 2 staff skills. If you're using any of those in your bar, that does require magic. And I'm not sure some of the alliance skills use stamina as well. So there's this interesting mix that you're going to want to mix and match your resources. I even find as a sorcerer, I want a bow, because that way I've got a weapon that doesn't keep draining my magicka all the time, instead of having the usual, you think, sorcerer, staff, and then all you've got is a skill bar full of skills that use your magicka up. Again, possible, and flavor of the month, maybe there will be an awesome build that is just built that way and has enough regen from the other abilities in it. But geez, it's nice to be able to switch over to your bow as your second weapon and have something that uses your stamina pool, which might not be tapped out. So that's a great question.
Absolutely. I think that is the best advice for somebody looking to create a build, is don't put everything into one. Try and really even out your abilities so that you're using some stamina, you're using some magicka, because then as you use some of your stamina abilities, your magicka regens, and then when your stamina gets low, you switch to your magicka abilities and your stamina regens. So you really want to keep it equal.
And that's where I was going from, where it's a lot harder. Most people that are playing Nightblades are coming from Rogues in World of Warcraft or Assassins and other games, where you depend on the party. You depend on a shaman to give you regeneration of faster energy or to give you more oomph, and you're just throwing out DPS. Well, with the Nightblade, you have to sustain yourself. All classes are here to sustain themselves. And if you can't sustain yourself, you're just not going to be successful, which is why a lot of Nightblades are not.
Sure. Yeah. The maybe to Tom and Chill there, you guys have been out in the betas and stuff. There's a lot of questions here about the guild stores, and for me, I'm not going to Cyrodiil to shop, but that's pretty much where it's set up at the moment. However, you can mail to anybody. You can have guilds that have it's account based, so they can be people from all kinds of different alliances. How likely, given the rapid turnover of camps and keeps, how likely do you think it is that people are going to be setting up stores and shopping in Cyrodiil?
that's where I say that you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. You need to focus on other avenues other than your guild store, because once that keep is no longer active, or it's been changed hands, or something of that matter, you lose that guild store. So it's important to find other avenues of trade other than what's set in the game. It also adds into an immersion type feature. Tomcat, would you agree?
Well, I would, but I have not seen. I mean, I haven't had. My time in Cyrodiil has been fairly limited, so I can't really comment from experience.
Sure. Yeah, it's just I'm not used to PvP areas being the area where you do economic stuff. That it's just not as likely to be successful, in my opinion. It's interesting. It's got it's a neat twist. Certainly if you hold the right keeps and right camps, those are going to stay with you longer. But geez, I'd like to hold them and not make them stores just so we don't get invaded by a bunch of people trying to trade stuff. I'd rather they went to Tamriel Goblin, get on your TeamSpeak and start, hey, I got this to sell, or doing this, or have it be done externally through forums. I don't want zone chat in Cyrodiil to be clogged with people trading. We'll trade buy this. We'll trade sell this. That's the last thing I need to see there.
I don't think it's going to happen like that. I don't think there's going to be a lot of trade go on during the PvP battles. I think guild stores are just internal. It's not a matter of selling in the zone chat, because you have that guild store in Cyrodiil. Cyrodiil is going to be focused on fighting. It's not going to have a large trade thing going on. So I don't think you'll have to deal with that very much. And I don't think that people are going to rest solely on guild stores, because that's just a small market. If you don't have very many people in your guild, you're not selling a whole lot of stuff.
Sure, yeah. There's a point here. Who was it? What about Dark Exchange changing stamina to magicka from Ghost People? Just wondering about that. Now, I'm not playing a sorcerer at the moment. Anyone here has been talking to Kodiak more, who's been playing the sorcerer, or others, as to how much they like that or don't?
It pretty much gives you all the magicka you need. Add that with food. I mean, you still got to be smart. It's not like, let me just throw everything I got all the time, but it's worthwhile looking at if you're going to go full magicka.
Yeah, and I don't know if everyone realizes that your magicka and your stamina, they're going to increase even if you're not putting attribute points into it as you go up levels. You can certainly cap them out with gear. So, Sorry, Stelkak, you're about to say something?
Yeah, it works. It's a mechanic that works. Essentially, every MMO's had a class that has this exchange, health for magic or health for stamina or what have you, and it essentially works the same way. It's about bar management, and that's really what it comes down to. Is, I mean, you can rely on that, but you're taken away from your ability to dodge, or in other games your ability to have life. So you got to really watch skills like that. They can be useful in a pinch, but for someone to really lean on that, you put yourself at a real disadvantage.
Makes sense, yeah. Question for everybody here from Althazan. Are Dark Anchors harder to beat when you advance with the levels? A recent Forces vid shows him soloing a Dark Anchor without a problem. I don't know what level he was and where he was at in that video, so... but
yes.
They get much harder.
Much harder. And they're different. Some Dark Anchors have different monsters that spawn than others, and some of them are harder than others too. So maybe in the same level, one Dark Anchor might be a little easier just because of the monsters that spawn, but another one might have more that you're susceptible to. Those monsters might have damaging effects that you're more susceptible to, so that one might be harder for you then too. But they're definitely harder as you go to higher level areas.
We've come across a couple where if you're not exceptionally geared, I mean, you could need easily 3 people that really know what they're doing or more.
Or more, yeah.
Nice. That's a good party. Well, and again, I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he was a higher level and he went back to an earlier zone just to show what they look like and look cool. I'm not sure. So that's cool. Do people, from Athasan again, do people prefer melee or ranged DPS for PvE content in their groups? Akos?
I think it's really a good mix, to be honest. I know in the mass PvP that we've been in, and even the small things, you really do have a good mix of melee and range. So you really don't need to look at that or what class you are really when it comes to wanting to get into PvP. Be good at what you play, and you'll be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Yeah, we're having a really good discussion at the moment about class leads. Most previous games, that we've been in and different guilds and stuff, we're all used to having class leads, and we're like, well, sure, you're playing a Nightblade, but you're playing it totally different than what you think of. So it's a different game that way. It's not just the typical, oh yeah, we'll have class leads and this is the best build. Guild Wars 2, the power curve versus the critical strike chance and stuff curve, there was no question. Power went up at a linear rate and critical didn't, and it was no question. Put it into power. It was Iskamar from, it was telling the developers that and trying to get that fixed up. And so everybody built pretty much along a certain path. Whereas Guild Wars 1, there was amazing diversity and a lot of flavors of the month. And even as part of the game, they had it so that there was monthly bonuses. So things that were good one month were maybe not quite as good the next month. And it changed the flavors of the month, changed what people built. That'll be an excellent thing potentially for this game. Certainly mention it to developers. We'll mention it again. Think about it. Oblivion somehow warps the world just a little bit. And now the skills are all just a little bit different. And you've got a totally different game, and people coming up with very different builds because of the changes to the skill sets. Certainly something that could be worked in. Go ahead.
And to go off of that, I have Thandril in the 13th has come up with an actual interesting concept for Dragon Knights that I know that we in our theory crafting really didn't come up with, and it's the earthen something build from the Dragon Knights. I don't play them, so I'm not sure on the term.
Yeah,
but
Earthen Heart.
Earthen Heart with the Alliance support and a resto staff, and really playing it as a support character completely. No real actual combat, but to play, in essence, for those that play D&D, like a bard, and to really just be a full support character, and that's something that even when I heard it, I had to stop and think about it. That could actually work, with all the skills from damage denial, area of effect, with the healing and with the abilities that come in the Earthen Heart tree of really boosting the performance of the rest of your group. And I'm feeling that we're going to see a lot of that the more the game progresses. People branching out from the traditional, Dragon Knights, they kind of look like tanks. Templars, those kind of remind me of paladins, so I should play it like a paladin. And with the Nightblades, they look like rogues. I have to play it like a rogue. So the more we move away from that, I think the more replayability and the longevity that's going to come from this game.
Yeah, that makes sense. And certainly those three pools, it's not just health bar goes up, health bar goes down. Those are three pools that are moving along from magicka, health, and stamina that can be interchanged because of some of the skills and the way you play. And blocking the right skills and picking the right ones to block. Attorney at Law is just such a good player for helping to figure out when you should be using those blocks and including that in the game. Question here, and I'll address this maybe to Selkak first. I think it's from Zoroark. What are each of your guys' favorite active and passive skills in the game? Do you have a favorite skill there, Selkak?
Repentance. It's the proc of I forget what Templar ability it branches off of, but it allows you to activate it for a free cost for every body that's on the ground, it gives you X amount of stamina and health regen, and it's a great spam ability for a choke point like on the stairs behind some of the outposts in Cyrodiil. To be able to just spam that and keep all your all your health and your stamina up, especially for people like myself and Vixen who play Bow Templars, which seems to be one of the IT classes.
Fun,
as for passives, I'm really a fan of for casters Breton passives. They really bolster the magicka and support Bretons as casters, and that really goes to play in with the storyline that Elder Scrolls has always had, that Bretons are the magical race. They're technically what people would call half elves, but they're comparable to that of Altmer and Dunmer with their magical abilities.
Cool. Tomcat, do you have a favorite ability or a passive?
Not really. And it was kind of tying into what you were saying earlier, where, I've been using my time to really experiment with the different classes and try some things that I'm not used to and not comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, I just have to hit back to the skill builders because I have not found something that, for me, just clicks with my play style. And I think part of it is I'm getting stuck in that thing of, oh, this is how I'm supposed to play this character.
Right.
What Kak was just talking about, a different way to use a Dragon Knight. I think I need to spend, this next month and just really think outside the box.
Sounds good. Chill?
Yeah, my favorite passives, I guess, would have to be the hireling things for your professions. I think that's a really cool addition. It would keep you it would keep you a good solid income of materials, when you log on.
Yeah.
What was the other part of the question?
Just any particular ability, I guess, or passive that you like the most.
Yeah, that's my favorite right there.
Cool. ACOS?
My favorite active is actually really a tie. It's between Standard of Might from the Dragon Knight. It's the ultimate. It's the really only useful ultimate that we have. And Green Dragon Blood. Green Dragon Blood, just look at it. Play with it. I told the developers they needed to nerf it by 10%, and they just buffed it by 20%. So it's now even better. So I'm okay with that. And as far as passive, it's probably the Orc run speed passive, simply because that's the only passive you can't get anywhere else in the game.
Yep. Yeah, that's a neat one. Vixen?
I think offensively speaking, if we're going to do my Bopar build, I have 2 in a tie. It would definitely be Venom Arrow for any mages. It interrupts them. And then probably my Biting Jabs for any melee. So those are the 2 I like for my offensive. And if we're doing more healing, definitely probably Cleansing Ritual would be one of my absolute must-haves. Gets rid of negative effects on your players, so that's a good one to have. And Lingering Ritual is always good for healing. So those are my favorites.
Cool. And does the Cleansing Ritual work on the burning from a Siege Fire Ballista as well? And does it work as well as the support skill?
Yes, it does, and I hate giving that away because I love killing people with that flaming oil. But if you're in flaming oil, don't run around like a chicken with your head cut off. Go to your healer and press that purify button, and you'll be fine.
Nice. I gotta say, there's a variety of passives, of course, that are useful and stuff. But for active abilities, Fiery Chain, just like a level 1 ability, is so useful when you're standing above the grate and the people are attacking your keep and there's 10 of them down there on the ram and you're just like, going fishing, guys, pull it up.
That one.
And then of course the coordinated, the stun with the sorcerer skill, the first one there, what's it called?
Unbiting. Or, that's another good one. That Binding Javelin, that's good because when you fish them up, I hit them with that javelin and knock them down, so then they can't even escape. We just can beat on them. So.
Yeah. Or a double pull that we have the one, I'll pull them up and then someone else will pull them back so they're nowhere near to jump off and die.
Yeah.
When they jump off, they die with their friends anyways, but then they can be res. I don't want them to be res, so let's kill them inside the keep. That's some really good stuff there. And Backlash. Backlash is a Templar ability that puts this big yellow beam up in the sky. And so I get to be commander some of the times when I get to play. And so we're leading a group around, and I'm like, left mender. And he's lit up. And it's just this big beam above him. And not only that, I've got it morphed so that when my melee guys kill that mender, they're all getting healed. So they're standing in a pool that's giving them heals right at the target that they're killing. So it really helps orient my group in terms of calling targets in a game that doesn't have the typical target calling mechanisms. There are other skills that you can use for target calling in the game, and I certainly like to have that one as a commander at times. And I might have to go Templar because that is the best target calling mechanism in the game compared to if I play Dragon Knight, I'll just pull them in with Fiery Chains. Going fishing! Yep. Let's get to a couple more questions here. Ghost people. What classes do vampires or werewolves tend to be better for? And I don't know that we can say much about that yet. I think that would be crossing the line and get us in trouble with Zoss at the moment. But as you've read, there are debuffs you can see on the skill builder for them. The vampires are really hurt by fire and werewolves by poison. There is a lot of fire in the game. That's all I'll say. I don't think we can say much more than that from what I've seen for that part. But you'll be there. Yeah, I don't think we can say much more about that. So
Yep.
All of them has
Sorry.
pros and cons.
Yep.
pros and cons.
Equal pros and cons for them, but that's about all we can say about it.
Yeah. Mo Costi saw a video of a group using the DK pull while extending, basically manufacturing overextension. I'm not totally sure I understand that, but certainly of the morphs for the DK pull, there's only one choice. Take the extended morph so that you can pull people down off the walls or down through the grate, or pull them up through the grate. It works both ways. Crystal shards are encased, is someone's telling me what the sorcerer skill was that I was looking for. Thanks.
Those are the ones I hit with that venom arrow.
Yeah, it was certainly a really good
Don't
skill.
cast that on me.
Yeah, it does have a cast time unless you morph it a certain way, I believe. Okay, yeah, the heal morph from Mech Warrior is talking about the heal morph that I was talking about for the backlash, that it's a good incentive for people to follow the lead on targets that are called. Someone else earlier was asking about how the increase in magicka and stamina points will build up your the damage with those abilities. And it's certainly true, and you can get that from gear or from those abilities. Lots of different ways to do it. All work really nicely and stuff. So don't know what the answer is. Werewolf's the only one that we're still trying to figure something out about, because it's stamina based. Its armor and everything is based off the stamina. So it could be a different animal. No pun intended. That and I think in terms of other questions, sorry, and Osmium Bin? Sorry, is mastering smithing, alchemy, or enchanting profitable for gold? Can you make a lot of money from them like you could in Skyrim, for example? Sorry, I think you asked that earlier and I missed it. Vixen, I think you're in charge of the enchanting and stuff. How did you find in terms of, well, I mean, we just kind of give stuff to each other. We're a guild, but what do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, we give stuff to each other, but if you maximize your enchanting, you can make a ton of money off of selling high-level glyphs to other players. I mean, you can enchant pretty much all of your armor, your jewelry, your weapons. You can enchant everything with a glyph, and so it's really beneficial. And as you level your gear, you're going to need new glyphs for those new leveled gear. So I would definitely recommend enchanting if you enjoy it.
I want Chill to say, or Selkak to say something like, "Do you ever watch Inspector Gadget? You need to be that guy with the cat." That I can't remember his name.
Next time, Gadget. Next time.
There we go. The
Kitten aggro.
Yeah, and Valor's commenting on the chat here that in answer to Osmium, that even selling the stuff you craft to vendors nets a profit. So yeah, certainly good. Let's get ready to give some shout outs to the guilds and stuff that are here. Anybody who wants to write their name in the chat for their guild and stuff, we got a few mailed in ones too. We'll give a shout out about your guild here in just a minute. And let's get to sort of final comments here that maybe ACOS, if you want to start with, is there anything else you want to say about crafting? I mean, I know you've done a lot of it and you've enjoyed some of the high level content. Did you find it challenging and stuff? Is it going to be enough to keep people going through the game for a certain amount of time?
I mean, I was a little disappointed in the overall how far it would actually take me and how long it would keep me going. I think simply because my expectations were extremely high, being a super fan and all, of course, with the classes.
Yeah.
But I will say this, I'm still excited because there's a lot of possibility with it. And I think with the time, they're going to be able to come out with a lot of content quickly to keep it going. People just have to realize that this isn't your standard MMO. This isn't Skyrim. This is a whole new, different type of game. And if you don't play it that way, you're just going to miss out on the entire point of it.
Cool. Awesome. And Chill, what would you like to say in closing?
I just look forward to the economy. I think we have a good community here, and I look forward to supporting anybody that needs support so far as trading goes and as the economy goes. We have a good opportunity to make a game breaker. I mean, it's it's putting the power of the economy in the players' hands, and we have a chance to make this MMO one of the best ones. So in closing, I look forward to seeing you guys out there, and I look forward to making money off of you.
Yeah. I just threw up one of, and Chill, you haven't heard his laugh tonight, but I put up one of his videos on the Mostly Harmless channel because he's playing this silly little game, and he just has this awesome laugh that he just keeps going and having fun. And certainly, you're quite a character, so good to have you here.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool. Selkak?
Yes.
Closing comments from Lord God Selkak.
And so Selkak said, "Let there be light."
Nobody saw the list of items that we were supposed to provide for Selkak's back wardrobe room this episode, but it was pretty good.
Nor our response.
Yeah, Tom could tell you about the
response
response. Tom had the best response to it.
We'll go ahead and post it on our website, the full conversation.
There you go.
Yeah, I think we need to.
I just want to say a couple things real quick. Heroes for Hire, like I mentioned earlier, they're an organization that dresses up as superheroes and goes out and visits terminally ill children. You can find them at h4h.us. They're also going to be on our website soon. Also, Pyroglyphic Studios. It's an artist in Philadelphia that does a lot of progressive art and comic book art. You can always check out Pyroglyphic Studios online. Other than that, come out, visit the 13th. We like new people. At least Xylo does. But no, come, talk to any of the guilds that are in the Alliance. There's quite a few of us. There's the Guardians, there's 13th, there's Mostly Harmless. Come out, enjoy a good group of people, good organization of guilds.
Yeah, we're certainly
You won't be
having a good time.
disappointed.
That sounds great. And we all have a slightly different culture, too, which works that everybody has a good fit. Tomcat?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just ready for launch. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be another however many weeks. I'm just waiting.
Awesome. Vixen?
I just encourage people to ignore some of the negative information and comments out there and really just go into the game with an open mind and give everything a try, because I think it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing the game, and I've been playing it for a while now, and I'm not burnt out yet. I still enjoy it. There's still new things I have yet to discover, so give it a try.
Good point, yeah. And any game is better with good people. Draugen from Ebonheart Pact, good people. They've got a contest on at the moment. It closes in just on February 28th at midnight, so certainly look up that contest for writing. They still have, they could still use a couple more entries for that for sure. And there's a lot of good guilds here in the channel. Let me just scroll back up and try and read some of these. Let me see. Vakajdar, I think that's a guild. The Guardians we've mentioned, they're a really mature multi-gaming guild that's got some good things going on, and they're looking to go in with a nice small close group of people into this game. I think they were talking about 30 or 40, sort of like the 13th Legion, a nice tight-knit community. Kareneth from the Brotherhood of Redemption here. Ghost people from the 13th Legion. Luna Warlu from the Nor. Great Aldmeri guild that I haven't seen Deleathers in a bit. We got to get him back on the show sometime. That he's just such a character. A few more comments for the Guardians and the 13th Legion. Someone, Xylo is saying, the 13th Legion, I am Legion, for we are many. And I think Tamriel Gold Goblin website is amazing, book market. That's from Valor. Someone else saying Chill's amazing. Webprax, what's that about, Chill?
WebPrax is the guy that actually owns the TeamSpeak server that we are opening for the Trade Network.
Okay.
He's been kind enough to host it on one of his server boxes, so that's what allows us to have an unlimited license.
Great. And Chillbilly's talking about Draugen being awesome here in the chat. There's some good links here for people to look at, of course, in the channel. We'll put those, or get them to put them on the YouTube channel. We'll have this up on YouTube tomorrow. We'll just quickly get it up there, so certainly no problem. And I think that's about it. Tamriel Goblin's linked in there. Great. And the last question is, do you guys think that the browned areas like Skyrim, Blackmarsh, etc. will be available after release, all of Tamriel? There's certainly areas available to a lot of other races at the moment, and some of them will be available shortly after. They got a lot of room still to play with there. So.
Oh, yeah. And if you look at that
Expansions.
map, the map is huge. I mean, there's a lot of room for expansion. So I'm excited to see what ZOS keeps rolling out in the future.
Yep. Zoroark, everybody join the Nor. And again, can't say it enough. The game is interesting. It's got a lot more depth than people think. And then find some good people to play with. If you find some good people, then everything's going to be that much better. This is not a game to play solo. You can, but you get an experience bonus just for playing with other people. And you might as well grab a friend, do the mirroring thing, and go through this game and have a good time. So thanks very much, everybody, for coming. Let's just see where we're at here. Mailed in shoutouts, Elderblade, another AD guild with a great website and a lot of enthusiasm. Unreal Aussies, a great Oceanic guild that does PvE and PvP, mailed us to let us know that they are going to be choosing Daggerfall Covenant at launch. They don't have tons of people going into the game at the moment, but really good people. Really like them. Dutch Guild Solution, and that looks like it for the mail-ins. I know I was talking to KNT the other day. They said they're going to be playing Aldmeri with a big PRX, Elite, Synapse, a whole bunch of other people, Alliance. We'll chat about that in the next podcast because I think we're going to have them on. And Guild Umbra, I believe, is moving with some other people for AD as well. So AD certainly has some stacked teams. If you're looking to be bored, certainly go there. That's about it. We talked about the Dragon Contest, and that's it. This is Rook with Mostly Harmless, and we'll see you out on the battlefield. If I can find the play button here. There we go. Sorry, I'm back with just one last point. We've had 10 plus applications per day to Mostly Harmless. Really appreciate that. Love the interest and stuff. We're not going to be able to do that many interviews. We do interviews with all the people. We want to make sure that people fit with our community. So just be aware that there's going to be a lot of rejections, unfortunately. But the good news is that I think with most of them, there'll be something indicating in the future that I'm sorry we can't work it out at this time, but please come guest with us in the actual beta or the game. You'll be given our TeamSpeak address. You can come try us out, and we can try you out. And that just might, because not everybody knows how to write a good application or a long one or detailed and stuff, or maybe has a lot of experience, but they're really good people. And we want to be careful because we got a good group of people, and we don't want to piss Vixen and ACOS off. We want them to be happy so, and chill there. So. And Tomcat. So. Great. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Take care.